Hello everyone, welcome to the final video for chapter 2, that means the basic polynomial. So I think this video will mainly cover division and the mixed type operation. So unlike multiplication, I think division there will be one more thing to be judged. So later I will cover it one by one. So for question 30, let's start with question 30. So whenever we deal with the division, so I think you can try to imagine in this way. So we can place the original guy on the top and place the second. We are going to divide this guy. So we know that we are multiplying 1 over x squared. Is it correct? We just flip it. Whenever we see the division symbol, we try to change it to multiply and flip the guy which is after the division symbol. And then I think you know that this guy can be written as in this form. X to the power 8 divided by x to the power 2. Actually, they are equivalent. So we multiply all the things on the numerator and put it in the numerator. And multiply all the things in the denominator and place it in the denominator. And the next things I want to help you to visualize is whenever we want to do the cancellation, 約減, I think you can imagine in this way. There are many x on the top. There are 8x multiplied together in total. And there are 2x multiplied together in total. So whenever I do a cancellation, actually whenever we cancel out the x, it becomes 1 and 1. And then I cancel out the x, become 1 and 1. So after I do the cancellation, you find that on the top there are originally 8x altogether. But now after the cancellation, there will be only 6. And the 6 is obtained by x to the power of 8 minus 2. And the reason of minus 2 should be the cancellation, because we have 2 in the bottom. So after cancelling out, we have 2 guy less than before. So this will be the final answer. And actually there is a denominator which is 1 times 1, but 1 we can just omit it. So we can have the final answer x to the power of 6. So let's move on to question 31. So I think the summary for question 30 is whenever we do the cancellation for division, we use subtraction for the power, and then we can get the final answer. So for question 31, I think we have the 15x to the power of 8 on the top, and then you know that we're going to multiply 1 over 6x. You know that this is in the bottom, this is on the top. We can do the cancellation directly. So we use 3 to divide it as to do the cancellation. So 3 multiply 2 and 3 multiply 5. So in order to make things clear, usually I will start a new row in order to make things clear. Otherwise, that will be very messy. So after that, I already handle the number part already. So for the algebra part, I think you can do it this way. We have 8x multiplied all together, but there's 1x multiplied in the bottom. So we can consume it. We can cancel out 1x. So there will be 1x less than before. So 1x will be cancelled on the top whenever I cancel out 1x in the denominator. So finally, what I can get is 5x to the power of 7 on the top, and then multiply 1. That means 5x to the power of 7 will be the final outcome. And over 2 will be all the things in the denominator. Okay, so this will be the final answer. Actually, we multiply all the things in the numerator to give me the final numerator. We multiply all the things in the denominator to give the denominator. In the denominator, we just have 2, so we just write 2 here. So for question 32, we just do the same thing. And we multiply 1 over 14 x to the power of 4. So we cancel the lumbar part. Use 7 to perform the simplification. So we know that will be 3 over 2. That will be 3x to the power of 12 multiply 1 over 2x to the power of 4. So if we want to cancel out all the terms in the denominator, we cancel out 4. So there will be 4 less than before. 4x, which is reduced by the cancellation. So finally, on the top, if we multiply all together, we have 3x to the power of 8. And in the denominator, we have just simply 2. Okay, so this is the easy demonstration. So for question 33 to 35, there will be another some tricky thing for you. So in this case, you find that the difficult thing is whenever you see this type of question, that means the power in the denominator is greater than the power in the numerator, right? There is 8 in the bottom and there are 2 on the top. So in this case, we can just simply do the same thing, which means the cancellation. We can cancel out all the things on the numerator and it become 1. So I delete 2x. So I should delete 2x in the denominator as well. So finally, on the top, we can see that we only have 1 left, 1 multiply 1. And in the denominator, we have x to the power of 6. So we can think in this way. After the cancellation, only the x only survive in the denominator. So we find that the answer will be a little bit different if I interchange the position. So because on the numerator, there is only x to the power of 2. In the denominator, there is x to the power of 8. So finally, after the cancellation, the guy survived will be in the denominator. So let's move on to the second question of this type. So we can multiply 1 over 12x to the power of 8. And then we can do the simplification. Of course, I think you can know that we use 12 to do the simplification directly. So that will be 2x to the power of 4 multiply 1 over x to the power of 8. So we consume all the x on the top. And then there will be 4 less than the 4 because I cancel out 4x. So on the top, you find that we only have 2 multiply 1 left. So we have 2. And then we can have x to the power of 4 left in the denominator. That will be the only guy left in the denominator. Okay? So let's move on to the final question. 5x to the power of 7 divided by 10x to the power of 8. Maybe I should write in this way for consistency. Okay, so if I do the cancellation for 5 and 10, I will get 1 over 2. So I will just write one more row for clarity, for clarifying the steps. Okay, so we can cancel out all those on the numerator, and of course there will be 7 less than before because I cancel out 7 and I cancel out 7 in the bottom. So on the top, actually after a cancellation, the number left will be 1. 1 multiply 1 should be placed on the top, and in the denominator there will be 2x, simply 2x, because we have 2x to the power of 1. X to the power of 1, we will write in 1 over, just simply 1 over 2x. That will be much better. Okay, we never use this form, we use this form as a final answer. So let's move on to skill 4, which is division level 2, and you find that there are some successive division and there are some complicated question, which means there are one more algebra term. So let's look at this question. For this question, I think x to the power of 8, and then multiply 1 over 2 x to the power of 8, and then let's do the cancellation together. So we find that in this case, we can cancel out all the x to the power of 8. That means I cancel out 8. That means I should also cancel out 8 in the denominator. After I cancel out all the denominator, we find that there will be no more x left, x to the power of 0, right? That means I cancel out 8 and I cancel out 8. There will be no more x left on the top and also in the bottom. There will be no more x because there are the same number of x. So after cancellation, we just have 1 over 2 left. And I think this is quite tricky. So for this question, let's see what happened. So to be honest, I prefer you to use flip to do the calculation instead of place it in the denominator. Because if you look at this question, you find that there are successive division. And if you write in this way, I think that would be clearer. So if I can do the simplification from here, we cancel 5x, so I should also cancel 5x here. So what remains should be x to the power of 5 from this guy. And for the multiply 1 over x to the power of 6, I just simply copy it. And then we can still continue to do the cancellation, x to the power of 5, so I will cancel it out. I will remove a 5x, and I need to remove 5x here. So finally, I will have on the numerator, Okay, after cancellation, there will be 1. So 1 multiplied 1, we just have 1 on the top. And for the denominator, there will be x to the power of 1, which means x just simply x. So for the second question, I think, for the third question, I just use the same method, and I think I'm going to speed up. I just change it to multiply and flip the term which is just after the division symbol. So for this 2 term, I think I can cancel it out, and minus 4. So you will have x to the power of 8 after you do the cancellation. In this case, I will cancel out all the 8x. That means I need to cancel out 8x on the top as well. So after I cancel out, the only thing remain will be 1. Because after a cancellation, we can 約減至翻1嘅, just like 2 over 2 after the cancellation become 1 over 1. Okay, just like the same concept. So finally, the number will be 1 over 1, but 1 will be a simpler answer. So for this question, you find that this is the first question with 2 variables. So I think this is actually very similar. We just do it separately. So when you see that we have x and y, we usually first deal with x and then deal with y. So for x, don't be distracted by the y. I think you can do it this way. We cancel out 1x. So that means I will reduce the number of x will be reduced by 1. And if I cancel out the y, okay, after cancelling all the y, there will be 3 less than before. Because I need to cancel 3y from the bottom equivalently, okay? So that there will be, on the numerator, we only have x to the power of 1, that means x left, multiply 1. And for the denominator, there will be y to the power of 3. So that will be the answer. So for this question, actually, they are very similar questions, just for you to get familiar with those questions with 2 unknown. So if you flip it, we can still do the simplification. We cancel out x, and there will be minus 1 here because it cancel out x in the numerator and the denominator, and cancel out y, and there will be 4 less than before. So only 1 left on the numerator, and x and y to the power of 4 in the denominator. So for the final question, you can do it quickly by using the flipping again, but there are 3 separate parts. Even the number part, I think you can do the quick simplification. You can get a 3 here. Is it correct? 3x y to the power of 8. And then we can concentrate on the algebra part, which means the x. So for x, we find that we can completely cancel out because they have the same number of x. So for the y, I think I can cancel out this 4y, and then we have 4 less than before for the numerator. So finally, in the denominator, there will be completely cancelled out, which means the remaining thing will be 1. And on the in the numerator, there will be 3y to the power of 4, and that will be the final answer. And I think I scared the video will be too long, so I think I will put the mixed type in the final video. Okay, thank you for watching.